Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas conflict were front and center at the Munich Security Conference that concluded yesterday. Trent gets us the key highlights from the three-day meeting.
Well, the Munich Security Conference is sometimes described as the Davos of defence, and I think what we've seen for the past 3 days is really that play out. World leaders gathering to discuss some of the major conflicts and flashpoints currently taking place in the world. I think the main takeaways really are sort of 3 or 4 big issues which were discussed, namely the war in Ukraine. We heard from President Zelensky make that very public battle cry once again, calling on the West not to abandon Ukraine almost 2 years into this conflict. We also, of course, heard about the situation in Gaza. Many leaders here trying to put pressure on Israel to not go ahead with that military operation in Rafah. We know, of course, 1.5 million Palestinians currently seeking shelter there, having been displaced from the war. There was no immediate breakthrough on that particular conflict, but we did hear from the Palestinian Prime Minister, who called on the world to try and put pressure on Israel to announce a ceasefire. But we also did hear from the Israeli side that for them their strategic goal does remain, which is to eliminate Hamas. I think on the transatlantic relationship, we heard some more commentary around the fact that Europe maybe needs to do more when it comes to contributing to its own defence, to not continue to rely on Washington so much. In fact, J.D. Vance, one of Donald Trump's most fiercest supporters, he said that for the next 40 years, American foreign policy is going to be focused on East Asia, and it's time for Europe to do more to pay for its own defence. And I think just finally, of course, we have to talk about China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi's visit. He held many bilaterals, including with his American, Canadian and German counterparts. We are being told by Beijing that in particular the conversation with Anthony Blinken was frank and constructive. Many are now expecting it could lead into a new phone call between Chinese President Xi Jinping and US President Joe Biden in order to try and just continue to bring down the temperature somewhat between Beijing and Washington. Trent Murray, CNA, Munich, Germany.